Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Desatarine Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namine Gaura Tvishe Namaha Ye Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpa Tarubhyascha Krupa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ramo Rama Ramo Hare 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 Krishna. So today we are trying to discuss, to understand the glories of Bhagavad Gita. It is very, very difficult to understand the glories of Bhagavad Gita to the extent the glories are there. I mean, we can just touch little bit, tip of the iceberg of the glories of Bhagavad Gita. So in Padma Puran comes this beautiful, beautiful topic. So where Mother Parvati, she is talking to Lord Shiva, and she's expressed her happiness as Lord Shiva explained to her about the glories are about Srimad Bhagavatam. And she asked Lord Shiva, now that you explained to me about Srimad Bhagavatam, I would like to hear the glories of Bhagavad Gita. So then Lord Shiva, she starts explaining, he tells, yes, I will definitely share with you the glories of Bhagavad Gita spoken by, this glories of Bhagavad Gita is spoken by Lord Vishnu himself to Mother Lakshmi, who is sitting on Anantashesh and whose carrier is Garuda, and who is always in Yoga Nidra. So he starts explaining the conversation between Mother Lakshmi and Lord Vishnu. Okay, one point is I am in temple, so please expect there will be sometimes I may have to stop as people walking into the room and then going out of the room, or they may come and talk to me or something like that. So there will be interruptions. I could not go today to home so that I can speak properly, nicely, and I had to stay back because I was not knowing, otherwise I won't be choosing today actually. Tomorrow is...
Prabhuji, we are seeing you and we will see devotees also. We'll have a darshan. Don't worry about that.
No, we were not knowing that tomorrow is actually Victoria Day in Canada. So there are many Canadian devotees also here.
Okay.
And they are staying here tonight. So there will be sometimes some commotion may happen. So then Lord Shiva, he starts explaining to Mother Parvati. And he starts explaining the conversation between Vishnu and Lakshmi. So Vishnu is lying down on the Anantashesh, and in Yoga Nidra. So Mother Lakshmi, she starts asking Vishnu, oh my dear Pranath, even though you are the controller and maintainer of the entire universe, and you are sleeping, but not really looks like you're not very happy in sleeping. Lord Vishnu says, no, I am not sleeping actually. I am just closing my eyes and I am not unhappy at all. I am just observing my energies, how wonderful my energies are working. And Mother Lakshmi, she says, oh, is it such a wonderful energies they are working? And what is that you are finding so amazement with your energies? So then Lord Vishnu, he starts explaining to Mother Lakshmi. And then he says, the nature of my energies, they are divine. And it is so difficult for the living entities to come out of these energies. They are so strong. Even the great devotees and yogis, they with great difficulty, they manage to free themselves from this wheel of birth and death, that is, which is within my controlled by my energies. So then Mother Lakshmi, she asks Lord Vishnu, if you are the goal of the meditation of all the yogis, and if nothing can go without you, and then you are separate from your energies, and you are the one who is the cause of this creation and maintenance and destruction. So please let me know about the working of your energies, which are working in such a wonderful way. So then Vishnu, he starts explaining to Lakshmi. So my energies, they are in kind of a multifold energies. In different ways they work. And how one can free from these bonds of birth and death is very difficult to even to understand. But those who are inclined in rendering service to me, and they can come out of my energies. Even though I myself manifested in the form of Bhagavad Gita, and Lord Vishnu, he tells, now please understand, just first 5 chapters of this Bhagavad Gita are my 5 heads. And next 10 chapters are my arms, that is 10 arms. And then the 16th chapter is my stomach, and the last 2 chapters are my lotus feet. So this way, one can understand the transcendental, the form of Lord Krishna. And this Bhagavad Gita, it destroys all the sins. And the person who is intelligent, and they recite this Bhagavad Gita daily, at least 1 chapter, or not 1 chapter, at least 1 sloka. And then Lord Vishnu, he goes on to say, if not 1 sloka, at least a half sloka. And then he says quarter sloka, and then he says at least 1 line of Bhagavad Gita, and they will attain same position as Shusharma. So then Lakshmi, she's asked Lord Vishnu, who is this Shusharma and which class he belongs to, and then what kind of destination he reached. Then Lord Vishnu starts explaining to Mother Lakshmi. And he says the story, this pastime, beautiful pastime. We can understand the glories of Bhagavad Gita just reading 1 chapter. Now Lord Vishnu, actually he explains to Mother Lakshmi of reading all the 18 chapters of Bhagavad Gita. Each chapter, what are the glory of studying that chapter, and what one can gain, one can attain just by studying that one chapter of Bhagavad Gita. So Lord Vishnu starts explaining to Lakshmi. This Shusharma, he is born in a Brahmana family. He is born as in a Brahmana family, and this person is a most sinful person. And what he is to do, even though his family is practicing this Brahminical activities, but this person, Shusharma, he do not have any Vedic knowledge. And he is to enjoy by hurting others. And he is to loot people, and he is to rob them, and he is to kill people for the sake of money. And he never engaged himself in chanting the names of Hari. That is, Vishnu is explaining, he never engaged even once in chanting my name. And he never gave any charity. And since he is not qualified, he never received any charity as such. Or he never received any guests at his home. He never hosted anybody, and he never gave any charity in his life. In fact, Lord Vishnu says that he never performed any pious activities in his entire life. So once it happened, he went to collect certain leaves from one of the, in the forest, from one of the sages' place. So that time, there is a snake, and the snake bit him, and Shusharma died. And then, naturally, he went to Yamaloka, and where Yamaraj asked Chitragupta what are the sinful activities this person has performed. And Chitragupta took out the list, and then he explained to Yamaraj what are the ghastly activities this person has performed in his entire life. Then Yamaraj ordered to take the soul and put into the body of a bull. And this bull belongs to one poor farmer. And it happened, this bull, since he is a poor farmer, he do not have much of agriculture as such. And he used to use this bull for his earning. So he used to have bullock cart, and then he used to put on weights in the bullock cart, and he used to ride and transport things from one place to other place. Like that he used to do. And once it happened, he was transporting some things from one place to other place, and he put on so much weight on the bullock cart, and the bull could not pull the cart. And as the bull is pulling, and then finally the bull left its body as he could not pull. It's happened as he was walking by. And in India, it's quite common. Onlookers, they surrounded the cart, and looking at the bull, they felt so pity. And in that crowd, one of the person, he feeling so pity for the bull, he said that so bad to see this, I am giving some of my pious credits to this bull. So the moment when he said that, others, those who are in that crowd, they also got inspired, And they also started saying that I am giving my past credits to this bull. So like this, many people, they gave their past credits. In that uh, assembly, there is one prostitute also. And she also said that I am giving my past credits to him, to this bull. And then as the soul again went back to Yamaloka, and then Yamaraj said, now we will grant body of a Brahmana to this bull. Then the Shusharma, this is the soul, belongs to the Brahmana by the previous birth. And surprised, so the soul asked Yamaraj, wow, is that the so many credits, past credits I got? Yamaraj said, not everybody's past credits, not that much, it's not counting that much. But the past credits given by that prostitute, it's counted so much that you are going to get a human form of body, that too in Brahmana family. The Shusharma, then again, the soul took birth in a Brahmana family. Because of some arrangement of providence, he remembered his conversation with Yamaraj. So he started searching after he has taken birth in a Brahmana family and grown up, started searching for this prostitute. And then finally he found this prostitute. And then he explained to her what has happened some years back. And then he asked her, what is that you do that you got so much past credits, and that there's such a personality like me, I mean the soul like me, got the again a birth in a Brahmana family. Prostitute said, I don't know anything. I have one parrot at my home. That parrot chants some mantras daily. So I also learned to chant along with the parrot. So he said, can I see this parrot? Then she brought him to the parrot, and he asked this parrot, so who are you? What you chant? And parrot starts explaining about her. It's a life story. And the parrot said, in my previous birth, I born in a Brahmana family, but I was committing so many sinful activities that in my next birth, I got this parrot body. But such a sinful activities I have done in my previous life that as soon as I born, both my parents, they died. And I fell down from the tree, and below the tree is full of sand. I fell down into the sand, and it's a small baby. And I was so much burning. It's a hot sun. I was burning in the sand. So that time one Rishi, he was passing by, and he saw my piteous conditions, and he picked me up and took me to his home. He is a family man, and he also runs a Gurukul. So there he used to teach the children Bhagavad Gita. So every day the children, they used to recite shlokas, Bhagavad Gita shlokas. So as they're reciting, I started growing up, and then I also started reciting along with them. But then it happened once one thief entered into their house and searching for valuable things. And this Rishi is a poor person. He do not have anything valuable at home. So he found me, and then he thought, I can fetch the thief some good money. So he took me, and then he came to the city, and then he sold me to one place where the animal traders are there. And when I was there in that animal traders place, and this lady, she came and brought me. So by the time the thief stole me from there, I learned the first chapter of Bhagavad Gita, shlokas. So I start reciting continuously every day. And that's how she got attracted to me and she brought me. And in her house also, I recite. So along with that, along with me, she also started reciting Bhagavad Gita shlokas. And because of that, the prostitute got such a pious credits, and where Shusharma got his birth again in a Brahmana family. So we see the power of Bhagavad Gita. So then Shusharma understood the power of studying, the glory of studying Bhagavad Gita. And he sat with prostitute and the parrot and reciting Bhagavad Gita, first chapter of Bhagavad Gita shlokas. So this is just the glory of first chapter. So like this, each and every chapter, Lord Shiva explains to Mother Parvati, or Vishnu explains to Mother Lakshmi the glories of Bhagavad Gita. Now, when we see the Bhagavad Gita as a manual, it says that when we purchase something, we get if you purchase automobile, a car, or a refrigerator, or you take a mobile, anything you purchase, you get one manual along with it. Similarly, when the manual talks about do's and don'ts, and similarly, when Krishna created this material world, he also created one manual for this material world, and that is a Bhagavad Gita. And Bhagavad Gita is known as the essence of all the Vedic scriptures. Very beautifully, Prabhupada explains, if you study Bhagavad Gita, you will get knowledge which is there in all other scriptures. And also you get the knowledge which is not there in other scriptures. And Bhagavad Gita becomes very, very important for all of us. Why? Because Krishna is speaking these verses to Arjuna. He is not composing them actually when he spoke this Bhagavad Gita. He is actually picking up these verses from different Shastras, from Puranas, from Vedas, from Upanishads, and he is quoting to Arjuna. So if you search for Bhagavad Gita shlokas, you can find them in different scriptures. You can see these verses. And when Krishna himself is picking up these verses from different Vedas and Shastras and then quoting to Arjuna, then we can understand how important these verses are. Why? Because Bhagavad Gita is not spoken in a temple hall, or it is not spoken in an ashram, or it is not spoken in any parnakutir. It is spoken on the battlefield where there is a need at that time. It's an emergency situation. Because Arjuna do not want to fight, he want to run away from the battlefield. And Krishna is telling, no, you cannot do that. You have to stay back and you have to do your duty. As a Kshatriya and as a Grihastha, you have to fight. To inspire Arjuna, Krishna is picking up the verses from different shastras and he is quoting and he is explaining to Arjuna. So this becomes again more important, very, very important for us to study Bhagavad Gita. In fact, Adi Shankaracharya, in his Gita Mahatya, he talks about Bhagavad Gita. He explains, he glorifies Bhagavad Gita very beautifully. He says, Sarvopanishado Gavo Dugdha Gopala Nandana Partho Vatsa Sudhir Bhokta Dugdha Gita Amrutam Mahatya. He says, Sarva Upanishado Gav. Of all the Upanishads, Krishna made them as a cow. And when you have a cow, you get a milk from cow. That is the main product. We get milk from the Gomata. But to get a milk from Gomata, we need to have a calf. So Krishna, who is Gopala Nandana, that's what Adi Shankaracharya is talking about. Sarvopanishado Gavo, Dugdha Gopala Nandana. Dugdha Gopal, that is milkman. Who is that? Gopala Nandana. He is son of Nanda Maharaj, Gopal. And what he is doing? Partho Vatsa Sudhir Bhokta. To draw the milk from the cow, since we need a calf, Krishna made Arjuna as a calf. Partho Vatsa. Vatsa means a cow in Sanskrit. Partho Vatsa and Sudhir Bhokta. So when you release calf, first calf goes and drinks milk. And then calf drinks sufficiently. And then we take out the calf. And then we draw milk from the cow. And then the cow starts giving milk profusely. Now, I will little bit will deviate from the subject because the Gomata, we can discuss little about Gomata. A beautiful topic. Nowadays, this is a concept is coming as a vegan. It's coming for many days. People start following this vegan concept. And why we should not eat any animal products or drink any animal products. The milk from the cow is actually meant for cow, not for all of us. Which our scriptures says other way around. Not other way around. Scripture says that cow milk is, Lord Krishna drank that milk. So we also should drink that milk as the followers of Krishna. Now, if you go to see in anywhere, everywhere you can see, whenever there is a baby born to a mother, it can be animal mother or anybody, for the human mother also. There is always, for one baby, there are two sources where the milk comes from. Now, if you look at monkey gives birth to baby, one baby. And monkey is having the two sources where the milk can come from. And similarly, if you look at a dog or cat, they deliver multiple babies. They give birth to multiple babies. And they have multiple sources milk coming from. There may be 6 or 10 like that. Because there are multiple puppies where they can drink milk. Even for that matter, if you observe, many people, they drink goat milk. Because when cow milk is some allergy or something like that. One of the famous politician or famous personality in India who helped us to get the freedom, so-called. He also used to drink from goat, used to drink goat milk. But goat also gives birth to only one baby. And goat also has only two sources where the milk comes from. But it's the only one is separate from this thing is the cow. Cow also gives birth to only one baby, but then you will find there are the two sources. There are four sources where the milk comes from. So the scriptures talk about two sources are for baby and two for those who can drink milk from the cow. And that's the reason we consider cow as a gomata. Because she's profusely give milk for everyone message. Gomata. For everyone, anyone who can drink milk from Gomata. And it's a surprising actually to see. I mean, if nowadays most of us we use machineries to draw milk from the Gomata cow machines. But if at all we need to draw milk from cow, it takes time. At least it will take half an hour, 15 minutes to half an hour. It takes time to draw milk from Gomata. And she waits patiently. What for she has to wait? If somebody is taking from you for something, they're taking from you. And she patiently waits for half an hour or 1 hour. She stands. She don't sit also. She stands still. Till you draw milk fully from her. She waits. The patience, the Gomata. The association with Gomata itself gives us so much spiritual benefits. So Krishna, he making Arjuna as a calf. And then Shankaracharya is talking about Partho Vatsa Sudhir Bhokta. So who is going to enjoy this milk from the cow? One is the calf. And then whoever is drinking a milk from the cow, they also will enjoy the sweetness of the milk from the cow. Now for that, what Adi Shankaracharya is talking about, Partho Vatsa, Arjuna is enjoying that milk. And whoever is enjoying, Sudhir Bhokta, he says, intelligent people. And they also enjoy this milk. And then what is that milk? Dugdam, Gita, Amrutam, Mahatyam. This milk, Dugdam means milk in Sanskrit. Dugdam, Gita, Amrutam. That is Bhagavad Gita. It is like a nectar. And that is the glory of Bhagavad Gita. So this, who is talking about? Adi Shankaracharya is saying these words. In his Gita Mahatya, he wrote 10 verses, out of which this is one of the verse, which is the essence of the entire Bhagavad Gita, which he is talking about. By taking a bath in Ganga, we will be cleaned externally. But if you read Bhagavad Gita, we will be cleaned internally. Because in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is talking about so much. And Bhagavad Gita is used in management institutes to teach them how to manage situations in people like in the managerial level. And that way Bhagavad Gita is taught to them. And in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna, he is very wonderfully, he speaks to Arjuna. Starting itself is such a wonderful thing in Bhagavad Gita. When Arjuna asked Krishna, please take me to both the armies, in middle of both the armies. Krishna could have taken Arjuna and then stopped his chariot, standing in front of Duryodhana and Karna. Now, Karna is not there initially. In front of Duryodhana and Dushasana. But Krishna did not do that. He brought the chariot and then stood in front of Bhishma Deva and Dronacharya. Because Krishna wanted Arjuna to be disturbed so that he can speak Bhagavad Gita. It's not only for the benefit of Arjuna. Arjuna is a Vatsa, is a calf. So he wants all of us to get benefit, especially those who are intelligent people like all of you. By reading Bhagavad Gita, by studying Bhagavad Gita, and implementing that in our lives. And in Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna gives so many reasons to Krishna for not fighting. And Krishna, this is called as a management in Bhagavad Gita, which we talk about. When Arjuna gave so many reasons for not fighting, if at all I am there in Krishna's position, or if anybody else is there, what will talk to Arjuna? Krishna chastises Arjuna. Asocha nanvasochastam pragyavadam sabhasase gatasun agatasun jananu sochati pandita. You are talking like a learned man, but you are acting like a fool, number one. After chastisement, then Krishna starts speaking very nicely, different. But if at all, if we are in the condition of Krishna, in the position of Krishna, we will be speaking, you are a fool, Arjuna. Don't you have a mind? You already forgot how Duryodhana and Dushasana, they disrobed your wife. In middle of everybody, they're trying to disrobe. And because of them, you lost your entire kingdom. And now you do not want to fight. And Krishna did not speak these words to Arjuna. He started handling the situation from the root where there is the problem. Because Arjuna is speaking because of attachment to his body. And that's where Krishna started speaking Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna. And that's where Krishna started telling Arjuna that you are not this body, you are spirit soul. Because Arjuna is thinking that I am this body, and if I am going to win this war, I am going to enjoy the kingdom. I will be the enjoyer. And if I die, then I will go into the heavenly planets. Or if I kill them, I am going to go to the hellish planet. So here you see so many eyes are coming. I and mine, I and mine. Arjuna is in this state of mind. To unsettle Arjuna from this state of mind, and Krishna starts speaking Bhagavad Gita, explaining to him that you are not this body, you are spirits. And then finally Arjuna understands at the end of Bhagavad Gita, this is Krishna's desire to fight this war. And I, as being a servant of Krishna, and I just follow his instructions and do my duty for the pleasure of Krishna. So at the end of Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna comes out of the concept of I and mine, and then he starts acting Jivera Swarupavai Krishna Nityadas. On that platform, then he starts acting. So the discussion of Bhagavad Gita, it's a questions and answers. Arjuna is asking questions and Krishna is answering those questions. As I said, when Krishna is answering, he is basically picking up the verses from different shastras and he is quoting to Arjuna. And that's why the Bhagavad Gita becomes essence of all the Vedic scriptures. By reading Bhagavad Gita, one understands the position of Krishna. One understands the knowledge that Krishna is giving to Arjuna. Matta paratram nanyat kinchit asti dhananjay. There is nothing beyond that. That's the end. Vedanta. And Krishna tells even the essence of the Veda also in Bhagavad Gita. Why we do read Vedanta? Vedescha sarver aham eva vedyo. If you read Vedanta, the essence is to know that Krishna is the essence of all the Vedanta. And the Bhagavad Gita, it's total 700 shlokas. It's not very big book, not like a SRIMAD Bhagavatam, not like the Vedas, nothing of that sort. It's a small book, just 18 chapters. Very eloquently, Krishna spoke to Arjuna, to the point. And he is not concentrating only on Bhakti Yoga. And depending upon Arjuna's questions, Krishna is Sankhya Yoga, he speaks, and then he speaks Karma Yoga, he speaks Dhyana Yoga, he speaks Jnana Yoga, Ashtanga Yoga, and then he speaks Bhakti Yoga also, along with all other yogas. So in a way, if you go to see, it's a comprehensive book of all the yogas which Krishna is talking about to Arjuna. And I mean, it is again, different people pick up what they like from the Bhagavad Gita and they try to follow. Some people take from Bhagavad Gita is only Jnana Yoga is best within the Bhagavad Gita itself. But as Prabhupada says that of all the yogas, Bhakti Yoga is the best one. And we devotees take up that Bhakti Yoga and then start following. And then we follow the final instruction of Krishna or the essence of entire Bhagavad Gita. So we say that Sarva Dharman Parityajya Mamekam Saranam Pracha. So there are so many benefits, as I said, like for each and every chapter of Bhagavad Gita. There is Lord Vishnu starts explaining to Mother Lakshmi the glories of reciting the different chapters of Bhagavad Gita. So at the end, I will just tell one small story. It's a beautiful story. It inspires us to read and to study the Bhagavad Gita. Once one of the devotee, he is not a very big man, he's a normal middle class family, and he was extracting some of the essences from Bhagavad Gita. He wanted to publish small books like how Srila Prabhupada has published books from Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam, small books, so that it's easy for people to read. So he almost wrote around 5 manuscripts, 5 books he wanted to print, but then he was not having money with him. So he kept these manuals with him, the manuscripts, and then he wanted to publish whenever the time comes. And one night it happened that the thief entered into their house. He broke open the seal, he broke open the safe, and then he stole all the money and gold and jewelry. And next day morning, when they got up and they found everything is gone, and the wife and children, they were crying because they lost all money. And he is also worried very much. And they went to the police station and complained. Days went by, weeks went by. Religiously, he used to go every day, check with the cops. And then we know how in India, police department works. Whenever finally they got fed up with him and they used to tell him that, do you think it's only case for us? There are so many cases. So finally, So nothing happened. But surprising thing for him is that along with the gold and cash, his manuscripts also stolen. So one fine day, he received a package. And then they opened the package at home. And to the surprise, they found the gold, jewelry is there, and some cash is there, not full cash. The wife and children were happy. And wife looked at him and she said, "What, you are not happy?" He said, "Yeah, I am also happy." But he did not send the manuscripts back to me. So then they found one letter also in the package. And he started reading that letter. Just the person who sent the packet, he wrote this letter. And this person, he mentioned that I do this robbery quite often. So that day I entered into the house, into your house. I broke open the safe and I took cash and gold. But to my surprise, I found these manuscripts also in the safe. And I thought this must be something valuable. That's why this is in safe. And I thought this may be these books which you wrote, maybe having something that how to become a millionaire, how to become a billionaire, how to earn money. You must have written about it. So that's why I brought these books with me. And I started reading each and every page of this book. At least at some place, at some point, you may be mentioning how to earn money, how to become a billionaire. I read all the 5 books and I completed from page 1 till to the end. But I did not find anywhere. But as I was reading these books, there is change of my heart. And after reading these books, I understood what I am doing is not right. So I am sending back all your gold, but I have to spend some cash. So I am sending you the remaining cash with you, with remaining cash to you. And I decided not to do robbery again. And I'm going to work now and I will repay the full amount whatever I have taken from your home. And then he said, these books are so valuable. I want you to print these books. So I'm keeping these manuscripts with me and whatever I'm earning, some part of it I'm going to donate so that these books will be published and then people can read these books and they will get to benefit from these books. Because a person like me, whose heart is transformed just by reading these books, which are based on Bhagavad Gita. So I wish others also, they will change their lives just by reading these books. So we can see this effect of reading Bhagavad Gita. I mean, this is a story, but then we have live examples. We can see so many of Srila Prabhupada disciples. From whatever the condition they are in, how they changed, how it changed their life. And it is not that somebody went and preached to them. Their first and the foremost contact to this movement is Bhagavad Gita. They studied Bhagavad Gita and they want to know more about it. Even to some people, they got Bhagavad Gita from the, from the garbage, half tore Bhagavad Gita. They got few pages and they read those pages and they got inspired and they want to get the full book and they want to read. And after reading that full book, they want to meet devotees. And that's how they become devotees. That's what a glorious book is that. And it's being part of our culture where we are born and raised. Till we come to this moment, we don't know its value, and we don't consider it is one of the important book in our lives. It's such an unfortunate situation, actually, because I keep seeing here in New Vrindavan, so many people comes. When I ask them, there may be assembly of 50, 60 people. Hardly 2 hands or 3 hands they raise that they studied Bhagavad Gita. Forget about full Bhagavad Gita, half, 1/4, 1 chapter, 10 shlokas. It is so hard for us to read Bhagavad Gita, even though it belongs to our own culture, where we are born from, where we have been brought up. We take it so cheaply. Such an unfortunate situation. Okay, so I will stop here and see if there are any questions or comments.
Thank you, Prabhuji, so much. And what a wonderful class, Prabhuji. I never knew so many things what I learned today. And it's a great lesson for how to distribute Bhagavad Gita. Yesterday, I happened to be in ISKCON Dallas, Kalachandji, Radha Kalachandji's temple. I was given some opportunity to distribute some books. So though we sold a lot of books, but had I been attended a class just one day before, probably I would have sold maybe another 100 copies. And what I was talking, people are listening, but I was talking what I know so far. But what an amazing class, what a clear understanding why we must read. And I have decided, while you were talking, I was thinking, where do I send this video or requesting them to share so that they can learn about, get more attracted about Gita. So what a wonderful class, Prabhuji. We can't repay back the lessons you gave us. It's unimaginable. We are really grateful, Prabhuji. At least you are not in, you are a very peaceful mood, though you are telling you are disturbed in many directions, but you are really peaceful and you are speaking so nicely. And it is just like one-on-one teaching, and a lot of things you told that really draws everybody's attention, especially my attention. And I don't know how much I can thank. That would be enough from our group and from all of us. Maybe we'll get another opportunity to listen. At this point, I will just request devotees. This is a wonderful opportunity. If you need any clarifications or you have any questions at this point, any life problem, whatever it is, you can speak indirectly. We are all devotees. Anything you can speak or ask questions, Prabhuji, for a few minutes. Prabhuji is from East Coast. It's already late. And by the way, Prabhuji is from New Vrindavan, as Krishnagant Prabhu already introduced Prabhuji. So let us open it, as Prabhuji told, for a few questions from Prabhujis and Matajis. So please share this widely with your all friends, families, and devotees, whomever you know. And they will come back with thank you. I'm pretty sure they will thank you. And that ultimately will help Prabhuji to distribute this knowledge more. So please go ahead, devotees. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Prabhu, for your kind words.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dhanvat Pranam, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Dhanvat Pranam.
Thank you for a wonderful class, Prabhuji. It's like very deep. So I have a question, Prabhuji. Like the life is like how the Arjuna was in the warfield, but it's just like similar to our lives, also similar situation. Like there is always something is just like a war. But when we read and when we follow, we come out of most of the obstacles, but the problem is that even we read, it doesn't, being like me is like a full number one, the intelligence is very low, so this none of them comes at the time of like when we acting up. So in that like so many anarthas, sometimes mouth out of control, mind out of control, like I don't know how to even possible in not in this life, but even in coming in many lives. I don't know, because we know at least this life, but we don't know what's gonna be in the next life, what we're gonna be in the next life. So it's like very hard to control. Means we do stuff and we regret it, but we already done it. Like how, I don't know, probably can you little enlighten me, like how I can control this mind, emotions, and
That is, Krishna very much tells in Bhagavad Gita. Prabhuji. When Arjuna asked this question, that I can, when Krishna is talking about Ashtanga Yoga, Arjuna says, wow, it is so difficult to control the mind. I can control the wind, but I cannot control the mind. So Krishna answers to that question, Abhyasa Yoga, by practicing. You are already conscious about that you are doing something, that it is not in control, mind is not in control, or words are not in control. So we need to keep practicing this. See, all of us have our limits. To a certain extent, I may be cool, but once if I reach threshold, then my coolness is gone. Then I start yelling and shouting. So the threshold level which we have to slowly increase. It is not possible all of a sudden to become like a saintly person. It is not possible for us. So we need to understand first of all where we are. Like as you correctly said, that you know where you are, right? You yourself, you are explaining where you are. But then we need to increase that bar little by little. Is it possible? Is it possible from our side? Can we do it? It may be, it may not be. But then, yes, if Krishna decides, yes, he can do it. But that needs to be from our side, that desire, that inclination, and that eagerness should be there from our side. If that is there, and then as we keep practicing this devotional service, bhakti, it purifies all of us. The bhakti process, it may not be quick, but it is a slow process, but sure, it will purify our consciousness. Slowly, but steadily, slowly we are becoming a saintly personalities. Maybe you talk about yourself so much, as you said, like this and like that, like that. You may be practicing for 1 year, or you may be practicing for 2 years or 5 years. But you just turn back and see yourself, how you are, how you were, and now how you are. You'll find the difference. There is a difference. And for sure, there will be difference. There is no doubt about it, because I am not glorifying you, but the process is a glory. That is the glory of the process. We are all, like as Prabhupada says, that we are all fools. We are just following what is given by Guru, what is given by Srila Prabhupada. We are just following that. That's all. Just by following this, this will happen. Now, the first question you talk about is that we read, but we may not remember everything. But this is one of the things which we always, there is a pitfall. We always jump to the results, conclusions. When I say chant and be happy means, we always we really not pay attention to the chanting, but we always pay attention to the happy. Chant and be happy. We always look for a happy, but we don't really remember about chanting. When we chant, that happy is going to come, but then what we do is we tend to jump to the results all the time. And especially I see we Indians, we are very much into it. We are always trying to jump to the results. Now, the result of studying or reading Bhagavad Gita, in our understanding, is that remembering it. Whenever if anybody comes and asks us, then it should sloka should flow from our mouth like how Ganga is flowing. It will not happen like that. Our job is to read. And as Krishna tells in Bhagavad Gita, we all read that. He says that, what is that verse? I forgot. Vedecha sarver ahameva vedyo vedanta kut veda vichaham. Before that he says, matta smriti jnanam apohanamcha. He is the one who is going to give us the remembrance, and he is the one who is going to take away our remembrance. So that is his duty. Where to give, when to give, that he will do it. But our duty is to just read. We don't really worry about whether we are going to be happy after chanting, or we are going to be happy before chanting, or we are going to be happy during a chanting. Happy is not our word. Our word is chanting is our word. Similarly, reading, studying is our duty. That is our job. And giving us remembrance, not giving us remembrance, that is Krishna's job. So that is the first. And the second one is, as I said, as you keep studying sincerely and seriously, practicing a devotional service, Krishna will always help you. And then slowly, you'll become a saintly person. But you should have that desire, and you should have that inclination, you should have that eagerness to do it. Hope that helps, Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji. I have one more question, but I will wait for other devious to.
Sure, Prabhu. Okay. Any other questions or comments?
Yeah. Krishnagant Prabhu, you have anything? Comments, questions, or anybody else?
No, Prabhu. Thank you very much, Prabhu. That's such a nice lecture and the very fundamental foundation of Prabhupada's movement. Thanks for at least it's a reminder to me. So I'm going to meditate and I'm going to absorb this, Prabhu. Thank you very much.
Prabhu, share this video with anybody, everybody you know. That's the great thing we can do. Thank you, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu.
Yeah. Raj Prabhu, anybody? I am not picking anyone, but feel free. Once you go ahead, then we'll give another minute to others.
Sure, Prabhuji.
They ask, fine.
So one question, Prabhuji, I really felt in my sadhana, Prabhuji, is like the problem with consistency. Like at the beginning, I have felt like there was interest reading and chanting and learning and all the stuff. But as time passing, keeping the consistency seemed like getting like what you say, Prabhuji, the mind start like same thing, like there is no eagerness, as you said, Prabhuji. There is no eagerness, there is no commitment, there is no discipline. Like seems like forget about developing our faith. Rather, some days feels like we lucky that we don't lose that faith we already have. So I don't know, probably like how we can keep this consistency in having the faith, Prabhuji, and how we can keep our consistency in learning, reading, and chanting, especially chanting.
So it is short answer, Prabhu. One line answer to that is association with the devotees. So that is the most important thing. So the more we associate with the devotees who are doing these things consistently, seriously, and sincerely, As we keep associating more with them, then we will also, by rubbing our shoulders with them, we also tend to develop that quality. That is the most important thing. Association with the devotees is very, very important. And the other point which we can see is that we see these Trimurtis, Shiva, Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva. Brahma is the creator. For creation, you need a passion. So Brahma is in the mode of passion. For destruction, one should be in ignorance. Like as Gaur Gopal Prabhu says, starting is very easy. And stopping it is also very easy. But the maintaining becomes difficult. And for the maintenance, one should be in mode of goodness. So that means that we need to develop more of a mode of goodness. So that Vishnu is in a mode of goodness, so that's why he could able to maintain. Maintaining is more difficult than anything else. Creation is easy, destruction is easy. But the maintaining is a difficult part of it. So we try to become more of a mode of goodness. Now, how one can be in a mode of goodness, that is the process which is given. By this process, one becomes mode of goodness. I found some easy way to be in mode of goodness. I mean, for people like you are all in cities, it may be more difficult to associate with Gomata. Because they are in mode of goodness, you have to deal with them, means you have to be in mode of goodness. You cannot be in passion, you cannot be in ignorance. So they say no, we don't listen to you. Only when you are in mode of goodness, and then they can listen to you properly. And we tend to get their qualities as we are staying more and more, as we are spending more and more time with them, with the Gomata. So for now, what we can do is, whenever you come here, you can associate. You keep coming regularly to New Vrindavan. But otherwise, you need to find those devotees who are doing these things regularly. You need to associate with them. In Pune, we used to do this thing, very nice thing, like once in a week, we all used to assemble and read either Chaitanya Charitamrita or Bhagavatam. So each one person read one shloka and then explains, read purport and explains that shloka and then keep going on in circle. You can do on phone also that way. So that way you have something which is going on. So even though you are not really studying, but then yes, you get that during that time. And another easy thing is another point which I try to do most of the times. When you get up in the morning, you are brushing your teeth and then you are passing stool and you're taking bath. It's easy way. You can turn on your phone and then turn some lecture and keep hearing it, which you get the benefit of hearing. And at the same time, hearing is actually is the reading. Radha Maharaj talks about that thing. It's hearing is also reading, because it's better than reading, because you are able to hear what Prabhuji is speaking about that particular shloka, about that particular purport. And along with that, he is also sharing his realizations too. So that will become more beneficial. So like this, small things, little by little, whenever you are free, if you're working on in the office, if you have the facility, you can turn on your earphones and then turn on some lecture and keep hearing lecture and then work. It's not that you are not fully concentrated on it and hearing the lecture, but at least one word or two words or some sentences goes into your brain as we are hearing it. I used to do that most of the times. And now also I follow, whenever there is a time, I try to turn on some lecture and then hearing those lectures. And especially in the morning, you may take around half an hour or 45 minutes for you to get ready. And then during that time, you can utilize hearing those lectures. So maybe slowly like this, that will give you. See, the more we see this point, The bad chanting gives you bad chanting. Bad chanting gives rise to bad chanting. That's why one should be very careful when we are doing the chanting. Because when we chant badly, then that gives rise to more bad. In a sense, if I am chanting by looking at my phone and then Facebook, Hare Krishna, then whenever you want to chant, actually you feel like, oh yeah, where is Facebook? And you like to see the Facebook when you are chanting. So the bad chanting gives rise to more bad chanting. So we need to, when you keep this in mind, the good chanting gives rise to more good chanting. The same way, as you keep reading a little, that gives rise to more better reading and more reading. If you hear lectures, that gives rise to more hearing. It happens. You have to try little bit, once or twice. So then that will become an habit. Until that habit, you have to struggle. Once it becomes a habit, then there is no stop to it. Hope that helps, Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you for your time.
Prabhuji, one last question. It's just a simple one. Maybe
Sure,
can, like, the mode of goodness and passion go hand in hand, or it has to be one or other?
See, in Prabhupada, in so many places in the purport, he talks about one should be in mode of goodness in performing a devotional service. It can go hand in hand in many ways, but to be practicing a devotional service, actually Prabhupada talks about one should be a Suddha Sattva. That is a transcend to the three modes actually. But at least the mode of goodness is the one where one can practice devotional service. And especially like as Prabhupada talks about sense enjoyment and devotion, both will not go together. They go ill together. Similarly, this mode of passion and then mode of ignorance, they go a little bit ill together. I mean, different people in different way. If you are in management, then you have to be in mode of passion. But is that really the qualification to go to, Goloka Vrindavan? That's not the qualification to be in the management. The qualification to go to Goloka Vrindavan is one become a pure devotee. How one can become a pure devotee? By practicing spiritual life. And as Prabhupada says that practicing spiritual life means one should be in Sattva Guna. And we have to be in Sattva Guna so that we can practice the spiritual life nicely. But if it is a need, like if that's a position and there is a need, yes, one can. So it is, Prabhu, you go to say, Prabhupada is a transcend to all of us. But still, sometimes he comes down to the level of passion and then he shows this passion in doing things. Because that is needed at that time. Like as a Prabhupada gets angry, Prabhupada got angry many times. But his anger is only to the point, that's all. And it's like a compartment. That's over, that means that's all. That he is not really lingering or thinking or arguing or talking about it. He stops at that point, that's it. That means it is not really anger in his mind. That is to correct that situation at that point of time. That's it. And that is called as the proper utilization of your anger or whatever, like Hanuman utilized his anger. Like that. Why we are talking about anger? That is in mode of passion. So that's where we need mode of passion at the time. But otherwise, you are in Sattva Guna, Suddha Sattva Guna. So that will take us, that actually needed for devotional service, Suddha Sattva Guna. Or Suddha Sattva Guna is the more better. Is that helps, Prabhu, or it's put you more in confusion?
No. Thank you, Prabhuji. It's a great explanation. I mean, I heard more on there, but you kind of like had a way to distinct where and where not. That's good. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Prabhu.
So, thank you, everyone, and thank you, Prabhuji, so much staying late for us. And devotees, I will request to unmute and let us loudly chant Hari Bol 3 times for Prabhuji. And hopefully, in near future, we'll get another chance to listen to Prabhuji again. So please unmute and let us say Hari Bol. And please share this YouTube video to all your friends, circles, wherever you can. Hari Bol. Hari Bol. Hari Bol.
Thank you.
Free.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.